Dear skinny people, sadly, some of you may think you are fat. We are victims of an Instagram obsessive culture that's obsessed with flat tummies and toned bodies and never feeling quite good enough. We tell people how great they look when they lose weight, but is it because of healthy eating and more exercise? Or is it possibly because of unhealthy dieting, obsessive exercising, depression, illness, or maybe trying to exert some kind of control over their lives? We equate thinness with moral superiority, strong discipline, good health, people who have their lives in order. But that may not always be the case. Some people use exercise the way some people use work as a way to avoid family issues or avoid spending time with themselves. Some people are thin because they're financially struggling and they can only afford to eat one time a day. Some people are thin because they had controlling parents who would criticize them if they even gained a little bit of weight. And some wealthy people in Taiwan are thin because they secretly go to Hong Kong and get LIPOSUCTION, where they suck the fat out of their bodies. Now, unfortunately, being fat is often associated with being lazy, undisciplined, uneducated. And thin people really love to give us advice about how we too can lose weight and be thin like them. You just need to stop eating carbs and sugar. Maybe you should just use the stairs instead of the elevator. Eat more protein and vegetables. Drink more water, get more sleep. Maybe you should stop drinking so much wine. Have you tried keto? Have you had your thyroid tested? Have you seen a nutritionist? Have you tried intermittent fasting? Can't you just ask your boss for less work? At 27 years old, I weighed 56 kilograms and I had a BMI of 19.6. I ate every day probably a chocolate bar for breakfast, French fries for lunch, about 5 to 6 cans of regular Coke a day, and ice cream for afternoon tea. My eating habits were incredibly unhealthy. But other than people just telling me maybe you should drink less Coke, nobody offered me healthy eating advice or hinted that maybe my eating patterns were a coping mechanism for some childhood trauma that I haven't dealt with. Now, I really, really wish that eating grilled fish and salad made me as happy as eating freshly baked chocolate chip cookies, but that is just not the case. Recent research shows that people who are healthy and thin generally are that way because they have fewer overweight genes. There is an obesity gene called FTO gene, which actually 47% of the population has. Now, this gene was very, very useful thousands of years ago when we had to hunt and gather for food, because it helps your body to store fat when the food is unavailable. But now in modern times, when we rarely have a scarcity of food, people who have the FTO gene are 67% more likely to be obese. Dear skinny people, I used to be one of you. At 36 years old, my weight went up a little bit, and I had a BMI of 22.1. Still very normal, but my ex-boyfriend at that time thought it was very funny to poke my belly and tell me that I was, how fat I was getting. He warned me that over the years I was just getting fatter and fatter if I didn't exercise, and that's what happened. At 43, my weight went up to around 69 kilograms. And now, at 47 years old, I have a BMI of 29.8, and I am borderline obese. Now, do I need to lose weight for my health? Yeah, absolutely. Do I want to lose weight? Absolutely. Do I want your advice on how to lose weight? No. Absolutely not. I am not overweight because I don't know how to lose weight. I know exactly how to lose weight. I have worked with a personal trainer, a nutritionist, an obesity doctor, yoga teachers, and I've even tried therapy. I know very, very clearly that a consistent diet of protein and vegetables, combined with drinking over 2 liters of water, combining strength training and about 10,000 steps a day, will lead to weight loss. I know that reducing my calorie intake and increasing my exercise will lead to weight loss. I know that drinking less alcohol, eating less bread, having fewer cookies and cake will lead to weight loss. I know what to do. The problem is I cannot do it consistently. I have studied Chinese and Arabic. I have worked my way up in a Taiwanese company from having no finance background to advising chairmen of powerful companies. I lived with my ex-boyfriend's Taiwanese parents for 7 years. But this is by far the hardest thing I have ever tried to do. Now I know you skinny people are just trying to be helpful when you offer advice on how to lose weight because you know your aunt did this and your uncle did this and your friend and your colleague, but please stop. Just stop commenting on people's bodies altogether and stop the fat jokes. They're only funny to you skinny people. Now, being overweight makes simple things hard. Things that I took for granted for most of my life now make me sometimes burst into tears. Things like not being able to fit in my clothes and being late for work. Walking in hot weather. Trying to put on socks. But I am grateful. Because being overweight has made me a lot more empathetic and sensitive to other people who struggle with their weight. It helps me to stop judging myself and other people when I just want to eat McDonald's. I know that eventually I will get back to a healthy weight. I will figure out what works for me. Unfortunately, it might mean I need to move to Norway to a small cottage and try and grow my own food. But I will get there. Unfortunately, I have other priorities right now. And my priorities tend to be trying to find joy and balance in life. I am not happy that I'm fat. But I am happy. And to me, that's far more important.